It's been a long Monday, but guess what? Now it's happy hour. Sit back, relax, and unwind with a rewind. Drink with Rick Rewine, only on 100 TV.
Hi, and welcome to the Drink with Rick Rewine. I'm Rick, and this is a showcase of clips and highlights from classic episodes of the Saturday Night Winestream, featuring wine reviews and general off-the-cuff entertainment. In this episode of the Rewind, I open, taste, and review a red blend from Spain. I also explain how shopping for a wine is like buying a watermelon, and why you shouldn't judge a wine by the price. So sit back, relax with your favorite libation, and drink with me as we rewind the review of the Carmita 2017 red wine. Okay, I guess we're set to go. And welcome everyone to the Saturday night live stream, or actually what I prefer to say, the Saturday Night Winestream. Anyway, welcome everyone. If you're just joining me for this, I hope that you're prepared to sit back with me, enjoy your favorite beverage. Let's just kick back, take our shoes off, and just have a relaxing, entertaining time. Tonight, we're going to we're going to test a wine that I picked up at the local wine store. And when I say wine store, I'm not talking about a generic wine store. I'm talking about the wine store, or it's called Wine Store. And we have a few in our area here in North Carolina, in Charlotte in particular. And right up the road from me, there's one that I frequent, and it's a great place to pick up some nice wines. And we're going to try out. I was originally going to have us try what's down here, a Corsado or an Evodia, which they're a couple of my favorites. But I know I've tried these before, and really what I'm trying to do is pick up wines that I've never tried and that we can taste test and see, give it a little review and see what we like and we don't like about them. And while I was at the wine store this past Thursday, I met a young lady there who recommended and she was an employee there. She was also a patron as I was, and she recommended a wine called Carmita, and this is a 2017 Carmita, and she said this was very, very good. So we're going to open it up. I'm going with a recommendation. Never tried it before. We're going to open it up, try it out. All right, this is a Carmita. This Carmita is another Spanish red wine. And this is 2017. I'm not sure exactly what the wine is. Let me see if I can pull up some information on it. Because I've never tried this before. This is a new one for me. 2017 Carmita red blend. This actually comes from the wine store. This is an Alicante Boucher, but today they call it Garnacha Tintorera. They mix the sweet and they mix it with 30% Monastrell to make this a wickedly powerful red wine. I'm reading this right from the website for Carmita. This wine goes for about $10 a bottle. I think I paid a little bit more for that at the wine store. It's supposed to go good with burgers. I do recall that, and it's kind of a good wine for dinner parties, things like that. That's what I've been told. So we'll see how that goes. And now, here's the part where I showed off my handy-dandy lever corkscrew. Let's go ahead and open this before I get too talkative and off the subject. Let's open this bottle of Carmita. And I'm using this wonderful contraption, this metal corkscrew that she purchased for me at an estate sale or something like that. It was a special going on, estate sale. And she bought this thing for $5. It's a pretty interesting contraption. I've only used it a couple of times. I used it for the first time on our last live stream. I'm going to try it again. And the way this works is you put it over the bottle like this. You grab it like this and let's see. And then it's supposed to come right out, which it does. How about that? That works pretty nice. Now to get the cork out, you're supposed to do, let me move this bottle out of the way so I don't have an accident. To get the cork out, you're supposed to grab the cork and do the reverse. It's kind of hard to do it the way I'm positioned here at the table. But that's how it works. It's a really neat little device. It's kind of fun. It's fun to play with. That corkscrew lasted for most of the first season before it broke. Considering that it was purchased secondhand for only $5, it was still a decent deal. Anyway, as for the review, I gave the wine a really long swirl, a really long sniff, and a considerable tasting. Did I like it? Let's find out. So, I'm going to take this bottle of Carmita, and I'm going to put it in my Cooper's Hawk wine glass, which I purchased a few weeks ago at the Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurant. Let me use my other hand. I'm right-handed, by the way. And we're going to pour this in. Let's see. We'll put just a little bit in so I can give it a good swirl. And we'll swirl it around a little bit. Let me check the aroma. Yeah, from the aroma, it's very berry, but it's very slightly oaky. Or maybe that's my fingers. I don't know. I won't tell you where my fingers have been. It's been slightly oaky. Let's see. Let me give it a good swirl. And let's take a look at the rivulets on this thing. It's a tiny glass, so I love these glasses. This is real crystal, by the way. From Cooper's Hawk. Got a great deal on them a few weeks ago. It's got a few legs. According to this, you can tell how much alcohol there is in it by doing that. I don't know that that's really true. I've heard it both ways. I can tell you, according to the bottle, it says 15% by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle. And of course, as we all know that just because it says 15% on the bottle doesn't mean it's actually 15% alcohol. It's usually a bit more than what's posted on the label, from what I've heard. And let's give this a nice legs. Thank you. You're talking about the wine. Yeah, it does look kind of nice. It seems to have a bit of a smoky finish to it. Maybe that was just me again. I can't really place the flavor on this one. It has there's something very, very familiar about the flavor of this wine, and I can't really put my finger on it right off the bat. I need more. It does have a nice finish to it. Gina says it doesn't really matter on the flavor necessarily, but if I wanted 3-2 wine, I'd buy beer. Is that what it says? Okay. Oh, 3.2 wine, I'd buy beer. Well, I like it. It tastes nice. Something tells me I'm going to go through this bottle fairly quickly if I keep this up. I'll just toast everyone who gets in the chat. In fact, let me do that. I'll toast everyone who enters the chat.
So the Carmita passed the test, and it was definitely worth the price. I purchased this wine several times since that tasting, and it was consistently good every time. Up next, I give you my thoughts on what the audience really wanted to watch in the wine stream, and how choosing a good wine can be a lot like picking a watermelon. There's more to Rewine, so stick around. The wine review was done, but things were just getting started. I had an important tip on how to get the best value for the price when shopping for a wine without breaking your budget. But first, here was my theory as to why some viewers were watching the wine stream.
You know, a lot of people join us on the chat or join the wine stream here to actually not so much to hear my stories, but to interact with me, but mostly to watch me drink a whole bottle of wine. And I understand that. And to be honest, I'm not crazy about drinking a whole bottle of wine. I don't want to really do that if I don't, I mean, if it's good wine, I'll just drink it, and then all of a sudden I'll realize it's all gone, and it's all gone. Have you ever just opened up a bottle of wine and said, I'm going to just drink this much, or I'm just going to drink it down here? You take a crayon or something, or I don't know, or you just open it up and say, I'm going to have half of this bottle tonight, and then I'm going to have the other half tomorrow night with a burger or with a steak or something, and put it in the fridge. But you keep drinking it, you're doing something, you just kind of not paying attention, you're drinking it, before you know it, the bottle's gone. And then you realize, what the heck did I just do? And the answer is you just drank a whole bottle of wine by yourself. I was talking about something else, wasn't I? I don't remember now. I'm not killing my brain cells. I'm just putting some of them to sleep. Penny says, that's a lot of wine in that glad or glass. Penny, how much wine have you had tonight? Well, maybe not enough. Maybe you need a little bit more.
There are a world of wines to choose from. And if you aren't familiar with them, shopping for a good wine, especially on a budget, may seem a little intimidating. But it's not like comparing apples to apples. It's more like shopping for watermelons.
I can't say that I'm a wine connoisseur to any degree. I'm not a sommelier, but I like wine. I like wine. So, and I like good wine. I mean, I'm not going to drink just everything. There's some wines that I won't drink because there's some wines that I have had that are just, to be nice about it, they're just nasty. You know what I mean? They're just nasty. And I'm being nice about it. And there's some other wines that, $3, $4 bottle of wine. If I don't have any money, I will, and I have to have a bottle of wine. There are a couple that I will drink. There are some that I won't touch. But generally, I think on average, between $6 and $10 a bottle is about where I like to be with wines. I'll go with a $20 bottle of wine from time to time, but it's really something that for guests, I will save my $20, $30 bottles of wine for guests on a special occasion. Because let's face it, wines as a general rule are overpriced. A lot of them are, especially for what they deliver, for what some of them deliver. It's a dirty secret, but it's not really a secret that for people that really know wine, know how to buy wine, that your sweet spot for decent wine is in the $7 to $12 range, or $15. Now, I know I'm saying this I know in California, it might be more expensive, it might be cheaper, I don't know. I know in some parts of the country, it's going to be more expensive. For where I am in North Carolina, and previously in Florida, $7 to $12 a bottle is going to be a decent, that's where that's how much you'd want to spend for wine, just to have a bottle of wine to drink, by yourself or with family or for table wine or something like that. If you're having guests over, maybe something about $18, $20 bottle of wine, just to say, hey, I spent $20 for this bottle of wine. But to be honest, the prices for wine all over the map, you really don't necessarily get what you pay for. It's sort of like buying a watermelon in a way. You go to the supermarket and there's a big. You ever go to Sam's Club and there's a huge crate there or a huge pallet there of watermelons, and they're advertising watermelons for $3.99 a piece or $4.99 or whatever, $5.99. And you'll see two or three of these. One's $3.99, one's $5.99. You'll think, well, I'll get the $5.99 watermelon because it's going to be better. Well, not necessarily, because you really don't know what you're going to get out of a watermelon until you actually cut it open. The whole thumping the watermelon thing, I've done that. And to be honest, I still don't get the whole thumping the watermelon thing. It doesn't really help me much, because I've thumped watermelons thinking I got a good melon. I bring it home and cut it open, and it's overripe, or it's not ripe enough or something. Melons are kind of really that sort of thing. It's kind of the luck of the draw, really. And just because a watermelon is priced at $5.99 over here and $3.99 in the other bin doesn't mean that you're going to get a better watermelon at $5.99 and you're going to get at $3.99. It's just, once again, it's the luck of the draw. Sometimes you're going to get a good one. Sometimes you're going to get a bad one. Well, the same thing to a certain degree. Now, I'm not saying this is every case, but to a certain degree, the same thing is true with wine, because you're going to get, you can get a bottle of wine. You can pay $30 for a bottle of wine, and you get it open, and it's just awful. Or maybe it's corked. You get a bottle of wine that's corked. It could be a $10, it could be a $5 bottle, it could be $30, it could be a $100 bottle of wine. It's just corked. It's corked. If it's a $100 bottle of wine and you get it home and it's not that good, well, that's $100 you'll never see again. That's why I try to keep it to around, well, if I'm going to buy a bottle of wine, and I try to keep it, if I buy wine that I know that I'm going to be drinking pretty much myself on my own, which I pretty much do at home, I buy from labels that I've tried and I trust, and I know that chances are I'm going to get a pretty decent bottle out of it, whether it's a $6 bottle of wine or a $12 bottle of wine or a $20 bottle of wine. I try to keep it around about, if I'm just going to be drinking by myself, I just want a wine with dinner, I'm going to keep it around $7 to $8 a bottle. I mean, that's just me. Sometimes I'll go a little bit lower than that, but I'll buy the wines that I trust. If I'm buying for a party or something like that, I'll spend a little bit more on the wine. But once again, I want to have tried the wine first and know that it's something that, okay, that's a $20 bottle of wine. And having said that, what is a $20 bottle of wine? What is a $30 bottle of wine? What do you expect from a wine that's $30, $40, $50 a bottle? It's, I think sometimes it depends on individual taste. Sometimes it depends on what your budget is. Sometimes it depends on what you're used to spending on wine. And there are people that are wine snobs. I'll say in this case, people that think, okay, you know what? I don't want to buy a bottle of wine that's less than $20 a bottle or $30 a bottle because that to me is a good bottle of wine. I wouldn't recommend buying wine that way because, as I said before, it's like the watermelon thumping. You never really know what you're going to get out of it until you get it home and you open it up, and then it's too late. Rather than buying by price, I would buy by what you know and like. And and recommendations, if someone recommends, that's why something like this can be useful. Something like this wine stream can be useful. If you're listening to the wine stream and I try this bottle of wine, I tell you, hey, it's a pretty decent bottle of wine. Well, yeah, go two ways. One, everyone's tastes are a little bit different. So what I like in a wine may not necessarily be what you like in a wine. However, if you check them out online, if I say this is a pretty good bottle of wine and I recommend it, and if you check out ratings and the ratings are pretty decent on a bottle of wine, I would say that that's probably worth trying the wine and see if you like it. If you have, like in this case, this is a $10 bottle of wine. If you really want to try it, spring for the $10 and try it. And if you like it, if you don't like it, move on. But if you like it, then you have a $10 bottle of wine that you can go back to time and time again, and you can be confident about. Now, once again, having said that, just because this Carmita, this 2017 Carmita bottle of wine, is pretty decent doesn't mean that maybe a 2016 was any better or any worse, or that maybe a 2018 is any better or any worse. But if you tried it and it tastes pretty good, it's a little more of an incentive to buy and say, hey, let me try a 2018 or a 2016 or whatever's out there, and say, you know what, I know this label. It's basically a decent wine. I'll stick with this for a while. It's a little bit easier to pick your wines and go with a wine that way than it is to go out and say, hey, look, there's a $30 bottle of wine. I'm going to buy that $30 bottle of wine because it's $30 a bottle and it has to be good. And once again, as I just stated, that's not necessarily the case. What you want to do is you want to buy a wine. First of all, you want to buy a wine that fits your budget. If you can't buy a $30 bottle of wine, and I'm not a person who can go out and plunk down $30 for a bottle of wine every day. It's just not, I can't do it. And it's not me anyway. I'm the kind of person that I look for bargains. So I like good wine, but I would only buy a $30 bottle of wine or $40 bottle of wine if there was a real compelling reason to do that. Like, for instance, if there was a great party or my boss was coming over and I wanted to really impress him, and a $40 or $50 bottle of wine, I could say, hey, this is a $50 bottle of wine, and then we could cork it and find out, or uncork it and find out that it's corked together. Then I can say, well, I paid $50 for it, and But the thing is, for the most part, you don't ever want to buy wine based on the price. You really don't. It's not the best gauge of what is considered a good wine. Buy a bottle of wine based on recommendation. That's a good way to go. But once again, as I said before, everyone's taste is different. So what I like, say, I like this bottle of wine. I like this Carmita. It's actually pretty good. But Gina might not like it. Penny might not like it. I don't know. Taylor might not like it. And if they don't like it, well, it's my recommendation, but that's a personal taste. But I think it's a pretty good bottle of wine. I actually recommend this. I would actually recommend this. And actually, right now, I need to drink more of it. Yes, I recommend this. And I recommend that I have some more.
I like wine, but in my house, it's an acquired taste. I recalled how my daughter Tia reacted to her very first taste of wine.
In February 13th, Tia had her 21st birthday. And so she was 21, so she could legally try a bottle of wine. So I opened one. I opened a red and I opened a white. And she tried a little bit. She had a little taste of each. She decided she didn't really like wine. Maybe a dessert wine's more her taste.
She doesn't like dessert wines much either. Oh well. In our next episode, we review a Chianti Classico from Italy, find out what foods I think it will pair with, and explain why I don't trust a lot of 5-star ratings for products purchased online, including wine. I'm Rick. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't drink and drive.
Wow.